Nut and Fancy project. It is year 11. Check that out. Summertime. Working hard. Testing everything. Watches are in the mix, and they are considered, in my opinion, core content to what I do here. Core content. That means they have the same weight as a knife review, same weight as a gun review, in the amount of attention and testing I give them. Yeah, a lot of guys are watching the vids. They like them. One guy checked in. It wasn't a watch review, and he said, "Oh my gosh, Nut and Fancy, I can't believe you're still around. You've grown so much." You know, on and on and on. I was like, well, thanks for checking in. That's cool. You know, once per decade, I guess, this guy checks in to see if I'm still around. I was like, but if all the viewers were like you, I would have quit a long time ago, yo. I would have. It's the guys that watch and support that keeps me doing this. That's why I keep doing it, man. For now, we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm pressing on. And I do have a lot of watches in the mix. Here comes one of them. I dove it about 10 days ago in the very frigid waters off Monterey, California. Check this. The Casio MTD 1079 1 Alpha Victor. It is highly recommended. It's only $71 on Amazon. It is awesome. Another Casio. Hey, I'm reviewing other brands. Relax. But yes, Casio is still excellent. And here we have a pure diver analog presentation. Classic dive looks. I'm going to take a look real quick on the wrist in case you want to see what it looks like. It's just a super excellent watch. I reviewed another dually. You'll see posts. I don't know when and in what chronological order they'll post. But it's just a high value diver from a great watch company. Now, my resources, like I've said before, are not unlimited. I can't do all the brands. A lot of times guys roll, hey, do this, you know, get a Rolex, do a Breitling. I may in the future, but I'm going to have to go get a loaner for that. And it's hard to go test the loaner like I test my own watches. I mean, diving this in a salt environment with a guy with a freaking $9,000 Rolex want me diving, you know, down to 40 feet in a pure salt environment? Probably not. But heck, how many of these could you buy for one Rolex? And it's funny, I've said this before, I'll touch on it super briefly, that people who look at this watch that are non-watch aficionados, they just go, oh, cool watch. They can't tell the difference. They don't know if it's a Casio, you know, an IWC, a Rolex. To them, they don't care, you know. But to a watch guy, they will. But this watch is intended for someone who really appreciates value, and that's where I focus my WRVs, and likes dive watches. And like I said before, I'm a field watch guy, a dive watch guy, a dually watch guy, sometimes a sport watch guy. And I'm not talking about like the G-Shock lines. I'm talking like pure analog. That's kind of what I'm into. That's why you're seeing several divers post along these lines. $71. Incidentally, that is not the band it came with. It is a stainless steel bracelet affair. So you're getting a stainless steel bracelet watch for $70, subject to change. This is a Barton silicone band, and I just like it so much better. So much better. The link to the Barton bands will be below. And the more you use those links, the more watches I can bring to table for you, if you care. Speaking of if you care, here's one of our super cool patches. Web store's right there on the screen. I love this one. Yeah, we're still a tactical channel. That's definitely core content. Guns, knives. We've just expanded a little bit. More adventures on the way along all those lines. TD designed this one. Super wicked. Love it. It's still in stock now. Who knows? A month from now it could not be. If you have, you know, if you are slow watching the videos. Kind of like that one dude. Once per 10 years, I guess. Do you like the looks of the MTD 1079? Gear transparency, by the way, is pretty excellent. That means how quickly do you adapt to the watch? Is it so big that it's obnoxious to you? I don't think so. I think it's probably on the average size for a diver. Let's measure the thickness. I forgot to write it down. And this is just kind of a ballpark. Probably 12 millimeters, I'd say. 22 millimeter lugs. About 42 millimeters across the 1079 by Casio. Sweat factor is medium. I think the no screw through lugs on that, so it's got standard lugs on it. You can see the polished stainless steel case. Not the highest quality stainless steel that Casio uses. I think it's adequate, but I will see staining and some Yeah, I called it pitting. I don't know if that's the actual word for it, but it was like on AMD 710. It just kind of stained with salt operations. But dude, it's not a super expensive watch. Staining just might make it look like it's been there and done that. So that's awesome. But here, speaking of awesome, this is the coolest thing about this watch. Let's check out the Loom, shall we? And you probably already know this about the MTD 1079, which, by the way, it's module number 5373 on this dive watch by Casio. So the Loom is okay, right? Do you see the Loom there? And you actually have it on the second hand as well. You actually have a 12 o'clock index on the 60 detent bezel. So it's not 120 clicks, it's 60 click, which is fine. It's cool. Sand proof. I dove it, didn't get any sand in it. Perfect. But then if you're like, hey, my Loom's worn out, you know, overnight, check that. Super illuminator. That is awesome. And it stays on until you release it. That is just a great feature of this Casio. Super illuminator. Look how cool that is. Yes, you can use it to search and find things in the middle of the night. That's how bright it is. Once you have your NV. See the marker on the second hand? How precise it is. Pretty close for a $70 watch. Non-numeral markers on the interior. Luminescent, as you saw. Lights coming back on. I really love the illumination of this. It's just super cool. Day and date. And they're large enough to read. Unlike the bracketed review, the Momentum Torpedo, which I love this watch. It's cool. Told you I reviewed other brands. But the date, it's actually just a date in this one, this Torpedo 44. You can't hardly read it. Here it's day and date. Super cool. Orange second, I'm sorry, red and white second hand here. I would like to have the hour marker a little bit longer, but it's okay. And then you see it's hollow on the minute marker. I'd kind of like to have it solid filled. That's one advantage the Torpedo series has over this one. I'm sorry, not the Torpedo. I grabbed a Mondane. But this is even a better example. Look at that. I mean, this is a Mondane. Here's the model number right here. It's a Swiss-made sport watch. A667. This is, I grabbed this accidentally, but it's perfect. What we're talking about. See how legible that is? I kind of wish the 1079 had better filled hands. And I'd really like to see them orange or pure red. Just by way of contrast, I would. But I think the legibility is adequate. The Loom is amazing. The bezel we've talked about already. And it's actually a stainless steel bezel, not plastic, which is kind of surprising. Here's a quick look at the case back right here. Screw down. Some polish there. And then there's your crown. It's a non-screw down crown though. So if that's important to you, keep looking. But it's low profile, doesn't dig into the wrist, and it's shrouded. That's your illuminator button right there. Classic scuba look. I love that. Durability, maintenance, accuracy, bang factor. It's probably going to run fast on you about 20, maybe 30 seconds a month. That's what I got out of this one. It's supposed to be like 15 seconds. This one seemed to be a little bit faster. It's a non-solar quartz movement. It's powered by a CR1616 battery. Should last about 3 years, they say. 100-meter water resistance. Plenty for my depths. I'm not a deep diver. I just don't like going down that deep. Subject to change, but that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, so it's more than adequate. $120 retail, but it's going to street right there at the $70 price point. Other options if you're going to spend money. Well, I showed this, and I think I reviewed this already, the Seiko SNE 107P2. I showed the red version, but this is a black version. This is $141. So I think the hands on the Seiko are better than the hands on this one because they're solid. Still a super legible day date. I love that. Legible second hand. This is solar right here, this SNE 107. But it is smaller, and I do like the larger presentation. That's just me. I like that face better. Which dive ring do you like, or bezel do you like better? And listen to the precision of this one. I showed this in the review. Believe it or not, I think I like the sound of this one better. Hear that? How loud and precise that is? That's pretty sick. This is 120 click, 60 click. I don't know. Just a quick competitive option. I love this watch though. For the money, you can't lose. Highly recommended. Great dive watch, Nut and Fancy.